guys actually enjoy treating your customers like a piece of shit, because that's how I felt when I went to the Alamo Draft House. Okay? You know what? I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to text in your little crappy-ass theater. It was too fucking dark in that place for me to find my seat, alright? I was using my phone as a flashlight to get to my fucking seat. So excuse me for using my phone in USA, the United States of America, where you are free to text in a theater. I was not aware that I couldn't text in your theater, all right? I've texted in all the other theaters in Austin, and no one ever gave a fuck about what I was doing on my fucking phone, all right? And it was on silent. It wasn't on loud. It wasn't bothering anybody. You guys, obviously, were being assholes to me, and I'm sure that's what you do, you know, to rip people off. You take my money, and then you throw me out. You know, I will never be coming back to your Alamo Draft House or whatever. I'd rather go to a regular theater where people are actually polite. And, you know, I'm going to tell everyone about how you are. And I'm pretty sure you guys are being on purpose. So thanks for making me feel like a customer. Thanks for taking my money.
It's chocolate. You should be very proud, Detective.
Shut up.
You've made a delicious life for yourself.
Said shut the fudge up! Why?
You don't come near here. You stay away from here.
Here he comes.
What?
Are you listening, David? I was saying how much I admire you and your ice creams. You have incredible taste in fine ice creams.
What the fudge did you just say?
6 delicious flavors. They're so lovely. And once they're gone, David, they're gone.
David, step away from the prisoner. Step away, David. Step away.
What's in the box?
I'm not gonna tell you until
What's in the box? What's in the box?
We each have our weaknesses. And it appears that gluttony is my sin of choice. And you add the mystery. I couldn't resist.
What's in the malted fudging box?
It's empty, David. It's empty.
No! It was full. 6 delicious flavors. Only available this month.
I know. It was delivered to your home. It was delectable.
Do you think anybody's gonna get, like, offended by this?
Just tall white Karens.
Monotony. It comes in all shapes and sizes. Dull, tedious, just plain boring. But what is this? A contender, perhaps? Something unboring by the looks of it. Jabs right at dull, an uppercut to tedium, something that keeps you on your toes, keeps your head on a swivel. A knockout punch to your old, boring workouts. Welcome to Fight Camp.
The Greening the Gateway Cities program provides trees that are planted by DCR foresters and crews hired from local communities. When you sign up as a potential tree recipient, a forester will visit your home or business to determine the best location and species of tree for maximum energy efficiency. Easy care instructions are provided, and it's all free. Find out if you are in the zone and learn more at maurbancanopy.org.
Shaolin shadow boxing and the Wu-Tang sword style. If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous. Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?
On guard. I'll let you try my Wu-Tang style.
Tame with you. Tame with you.
Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of Reese Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, 2 Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. 2 Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, 2 lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to reatsacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's reatsacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
This campaign is about a new vision where our streets are safe, our schools are succeeding, and our local economy is growing. I stand here not as a candidate for mayor, but as a lifelong member of this great city. There will no longer be the city side and the school side. There will only be the Brockton side. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
As Counselor at Law, Jean Bradley has consistently fought for all of Brockton's residents by advocating for quality education, community policing, better senior services, empowering young people, helping small businesses, and by being a voice for our most vulnerable. As Mayor, Jean Bradley will continue fighting tirelessly for every single Brockton resident. On September 16th, we're asking you to make the choice for a better, safer, and stronger city. Vote for Jean Bradley Derenoncourt, Mayor of Brockton.
I'm Jean Bradley Derenoncourt, and I approve this message.
Grew up and graduated from Brockton High, built my career here, and today I'm a proud homeowner and now Vice President of Northeastern Savings Bank, serving the community that helped raise me. Access, opportunity, and results. That's what I stand for, and that's what works, and that's what I'll bring to the City Council here in Brockton.
Master Yoda I am. And listen you must to hulazoom.com.
Yo, chat, TK69, Johnny here with Greg. Vader has us hunting some rebels today. Should be chill. This is a backwater planet. They'll probably throw rocks at us or something.
Yo, chat, this is messed up. They said we would encounter little resistance, but these guys got some big frickin' guns, no cap.
Good news, we made it off the transport alive. Bad news, half the battalion didn't.
Okay, so apparently the Empire doesn't issue snacks for 6-hour firefights. Guess who just found a rebel ration bar?
Bro, forget food. I just found somebody's Netflix password.
And then Lord Vader said, "You're the best shot in the garrison, Johnny."
Can you believe it?
I gotta practice my one-liners for when I meet these rebels face to face so I can farm some aura while we're out here. Freeze, rebel scum! Nah, that doesn't sound good. Stop right there, freedom nerd. And here we have the majestic rebel in her natural habitat. Wait, she's kind of cute.
Yo, focus up!
She's cornered, Johnny. Just give the word.
Hey. So, you come here often? You know, guys, maybe the rebels aren't so bad after all. Okay, apparently I've been holding this wrong for, like, the entire war.
You're supposed to aim, not pray.
This is so not regulation. Romantic dinner for two. Don't say the Empire never spoils you. Yo, chat. I just spotted the commander. We are so cooked. If he finds out, I've been clapping this rebel peach. All right, guys, we put Isabel in this backpack. We're gonna get her off this planet. We found a shuttle. It's time to get the heck out of here. I hope she's okay in there. I haven't heard her. Well, guys, we're alive, and Isabel wants us to go back to my base with a bunch of thermal detonators for some reason. All right, guys, since we survived, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
You like some motherfucking action heroes in it. Yeah.
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is a proof.
Step into the twisted mind of my literature, designed to get into the depths of your mind, administer sickness around to mimic the likes of snuff cinema. What you must get into, you're nothing but pups. Remember you Homer and Happy Simpson, son. Nothing Ithaca. Talkers like the northern half of Korea's peninsula. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister. ESP your island like the booth, something sinister.
Already. It's your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are watching The Booth. And don't mind my voice. I'm sick. I caught this bug on Friday. Razor blade, sore throat, congestion. I'm on meds. I picked up the meds today. A lot of people are getting it. And it is kicking everybody's butt. I want to thank everybody for tuned in last week's show. Good stuff. My sponsors and supporters. Michael Douglas Barreto, MDB Electronics. You have an Xbox like me, want to get your controller fixed, get it back out to him, 24, 48 hours, you're back to gaming. Viana Marie, that's my artist. Her music is out there, 494,000 streams. Support Viana Marie, it's personal. And Tactical Target Systems, that's when I go to the range, those life-size zombie targets that everybody at the range is like, whoa, where'd you get those from? Reach out to tacticaltargetsystems.com. I love Boston sports, a great staple here in the Boston area, South Shore Plaza. Make sure to check them out for shirts. Also, ladies, if you want to take some pictures that you never thought you would take for a special friend or a special loved one, reach out to Kimberly Ian, Empowerment Photography. She'll get you feeling nice. She'll get you feeling comfortable. You'll be able to take those pictures for a special loved one that you never thought you would take. There's my artist, Viana Marie, right there. Also, Underwatch Protective Services, Mobile Patrol, Foot Patrol, Armed Guards, Unarmed Guards, Event Security, and Private Security. And then call Larry for handyman services. And before I get into my guests, let's get into the first topic every week on the news booth until this gentleman is caught. Wanted for double murder here in the city of Brockton. We have yet to catch this guy. We've got 2 people in jail already because they hit him out. And he is, when you do that, you become accomplice to the crime. So anybody who's out there who knows this guy, turn him in. It's a double murder. We had a 15-year-old boy who lost his life, an 18-year-old girl who lost their lives. Turn him in. If you've been hiding them out and all this other stuff, you're gonna be tied to these murders. Got 2 people in jail right now, no bail. Turn him in. That's all I got to say for that in the news booth because I want to get right into my first guest on the show with me. This is a gentleman who knows a lot. I don't know if I could call him a Brockton historian, but he knows a lot about the city of Brockton. A lot of stuff. I'm going to let them both introduce themselves because we've got this event coming up that I said I got to get him on to promote this. This is something that, you know, on this show, I talk about Brockton a lot on this show. I try to promote Brockton as much as I can. Every segment, I try to get something from the city in here. And I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, and we're going to talk about what they're on here for tonight.
Amanda, you can go first.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name's Amanda Gomez, former South Middle School teacher, now realtor over at Lamakia and interior designer. Born in Boston and raised in Brockton. So proud citizen of Brockton.
All set, Amanda? I'm Jim Stapleton. It's hard to believe in many regards. 40th year teaching. 40. Yeah. I don't know if that says something about me that's good or bad, by the way. I've been in Brockton for, I guess you could say now 5 decades. I moved here as a young guy, bought a house over in Moraine Street, later on bought another one where I currently am for the last 27 years. Was a basketball coach, men's coach, 24 years at Massasoit, women's soccer coach, 8 years. Thank God I'm done with those events. And now we can focus on some of the stuff we do at South Junior High. I've been at South Junior High since 1999.
Wow. And you've done a lot over there. You know, we were talking a little bit about some of the fundraising that you guys are doing over there. And you guys, one of the reasons why I reached out to you was because I saw this story on Facebook of you guys doing this fundraising. And the fundraising amount that you were raising was just out of control. It takes special people. And I know because I was fundraising for the Brockton Junior Boxers. And one year I raised $10,000 for that organization. And it's hard. It's hard to raise those type of funds because you have to have buy-in. And if you don't have buy-in, you're doing a lot of that by yourself with a small group of people. I want you to talk about that.
Well, Amanda and I, back in 2022, in December of 2022, we recognized that our school had deficiencies, funding deficiencies. So we decided to start raising money. I contacted many of my friends throughout the city. And that first year we raised about 20,000. We did about 20,000 the next year. This past year we hit about 100,000. Yeah. And now the issue is we have to spend the money because I can't keep going back till we spend. We need to create greatness at South Middle School. And one of the great things, Keith, is today I actually had a meeting with the kids. And I invited some of the kids to get involved and say, we're going to form some committees because we want to spend this money. We want to make the 8th grade the greatest year of education for them with incentives. So I had 23 kids out of my 58th graders. Now, we had a soccer game going on. There was a cross-country meet. There was football practice. 23 kids came after school to talk about some of the programs we're going to do, some of the programs we have.
Awesome.
And just to speak about those a bit, I was a student.
He was waiting for that moment.
Yeah, I was a student back at South back in 07 and 08, and when I came back as a teacher, to see some of those programs not there, that really encouraged me to team up with Jim and start this fundraising.
Wow. Okay. So how do you get the buy-in? It's nice to hear you're getting the buy-in from the students, but also you've got to get some buy-in from the parent base and other teachers, correct?
Minimal. What I tell you, Keith, and I don't mean that in a bad way, we have 5 or 6 teachers who will help out when they can. But just as an example, Amanda and I, for the most part, for the last 3 winters, would go out and would spend 4 or 5 hours, 2 nights a week anyway, going to local friends, and then eventually reaching out beyond to friends of friends. There wasn't a night that was easy. I mean, even this week, I'm here tonight. I'm trying to think where I was already today. I was already with someone else today. Yesterday, I was doing a fundraising event. Last Thursday, I did one. It never stops. But the need is great. And we have some programs that need to be done. One of the things, before I'll let Amanda interject, this is our 5th year starting a Hall of Fame. We're the only school I know of in the county, and maybe in the state, that has an Achievement Hall of Fame at a public junior high, middle school. We've placed some tremendous people. And this year, next Thursday at Joe Angelo's, we're inducting people like Sean Joyce. Sean was an FBI deputy director. There have been 17 of them in American history. He came to South. Keith Davidson came to South. Keith is flying in from California. He was the attorney against Trump in the first Stormy Daniels case. He also was against Hulk Hogan and Charlie Sheen in various cases. He's nationally recognized as an attorney. He's a South kid. We're bringing in Peter Hughes, Kansas State baseball coach. These people fly in on their own volition. Peter's won 800 and something games, Division I baseball coach, a South kid. Velma Lee is coming up from Washington, D.C., who's been involved in all kinds of different activities. Paul Spillane's coming up, minor league baseball player, business owner. Manny Gomes, former police chief. I mean, it's amazing the talent one school has produced. And so now if you came to South, you go down the hall from the office toward the cafeteria, and we have about 60 plaques up there. Some are teachers, but about 52 of them are former students. And then this year, we added something new. Amanda came up with an idea, and we ran with it. We called it Toss. And what it is, and I can hold the plaques, I haven't put it up yet, it's 25 outstanding South students. So last May, we honored these 25 kids with the dinner at Joe Angelo's, with citations from Senator Brady, State Rep Mendes, Mayor Sullivan, Councilor Griffin, and school committee members Oliver and Rodriguez. So for a 14-year-old to be recognized, get 5 official citations and a plaque, their own individual plaque, plus to go on that wall of the school, changes the whole dynamic of the school. Everyone wanted to be one of those winners. And we also added 25 other kids beneath them to a different event. So we had 50 kids enjoying the fruits of their labor. And it changes the school dynamics. It changes everything in that school. We eliminated the swearing. We eliminated any of the cell phones in school. We eliminated all the kids who might have had issues because suddenly there was an incentive to achieve. We often in schools, the problem is we love to warn and penalize people, but we never thought to promote. So instead of just telling you, Keith, here's the penalty if you misbehave. No. Let's go and show what happens when you behave, when you do your work you're supposed to do, when you achieve like the talent that you have to achieve. So now we'll let Amanda speak. I can't speak the entire time.
Well, I have to agree with Jim. He is completely correct. The students had something to work towards. It was very competitive. They all applied. They presented to be part of the top 25. You know, they basically were advocating for themselves on why they believe that they are the top 25. And I believe a lot. I taught a lot of with my students. We spoke a lot about confidence and reaching goals and goal setting, things like that. And the confidence I've seen these children from September to May just completely turn around. They were so confident that they could speak about themselves in a positive manner. You know, it's all about the mindset, changing their mindset. And to see some students who kind of fell through the cracks believe in themselves and believe that they could be one of the top 25 and be recognized was a very special thing to see.
Keith, Amanda once said I was the king of the acronym. So we have TOSS, 25 outstanding South students. we have a program, Our Time, which stood for Often Under-Recognized Talented Individuals Mastering Expectations. And they were essentially student 26 through 50, and we took them out to Brack's for a dinner. This year, we're adding a component, a 7th grade group will also, it's going to be called Success. I won't bore you with what that stands for because I haven't memorized it completely yet. We also have Dragon's Day next Friday, a week from this Friday, the October 10th, which stands for Discovering Resources and Gaining New, Discovering Resources and Gaining New, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, it's where we have a career day. We're bringing people in from all over the city. We'd love to invite you in if you want to come in 9 to 10:15, October 10th. Come on in and discuss this whole podcasting thing. It's a new world to me.
Yeah, and I've been doing this, when people talk to me about this, they don't realize I've been doing this for close to 20 years before it even had a name, when it was just internet radio and you could only have 500 people at a time watching or else you'd crash it. So it's amazing to see how it is. The fact that I have all these multiple podcasts all over the country now that I'm producing from here in Brockton. I've got people in Ohio, people all over that I pull them in via Zoom and broadcast their shows throughout the world. So this is something that if a student could learn it, and talk to them about it, I do all my hands-on editing and all that stuff. And there is money that you can make. Facebook sends me a check every month. I get a good check from Facebook every month because of the activity on my pages. But it's it's good to see. It's good to help out. I actually mentioned someone. We had talked about Dave Wedge, and I had actually thought you were looking to get in contact with Dave Wedge, and I had mentioned Dave Wedge to get in contact with you because of this program that you got going on. So hopefully he was able to reach out to you.
Yeah, he went to West, but we're going to work on something because we have 2 big programs going on this year. Like today, we talked about the kids were designing. I've broken the kids, the 23 who came today. Some are going to work on dances. We pay for the dances. Some are going to work on procuring more books. We pay for the books. Some are going to work on being host and hostesses, ambassadors next week at the Hall of Fame. We're also going to make sure we get our field trips going. But a couple of special things I think this year, and T-shirts and sweatshirts. We're going to inundate the kids with T-shirts. You're going to see more South T-shirts for kids doing well around the city. People are going to say, wow, how many kids go to that school? Because we're going to inundate the market with the T-shirts. But we have 2 special things going on this year. One is we're going to write a book. We're going to have 60 kids from my school in a book, various stories about growing up in Brockton. And we're going to have people like Greg Dunn, John Murphy, Mike McGillis, Keith Davidson, Belma Lee. We're going to have them write in that book also. We're going to publish a book and we're going to sell it. Not to make big money. That's not the issue. But to have kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade being published authors. Now, imagine what they're going to say in Wellesley when they hear that Brockton did that. Okay, all those little uppity people over there are going to be a little upset. I hope there's no one on from Wellesley right now, but they know what I'm talking about. And then one more big thing. Then we got another big thing this year, Keith. We have South turning 70. Our school is 70. So this spring in May, we're having a birthday party at the school. We're getting a 1-day liquor license. We got a band. We're going to have food. We're going to throw a bash, a 70th birthday for the school. I mean, who's ever done that? Right. Kids can now... Because back in the day, they might have illegally snuck something, and now they can legally have a drink that day, at night at the dance, at night at the gala. So anything that might have happened years ago, we'll give them a pass. We'll invite them back, and they can actually, recreate it, whatever. But this time legally.
Yeah, these prom nights and stuff are really coming back for everybody. It's nice to see that going on across the school. Across the country. So this is great stuff. October 10th is career fair. I got to see if I can pull the day off or try to come during the day in the morning.
9 to 10:30 in the morning, 9 to 10:15, whatever. And what we do is we have the kids wander around the cafeteria in like 5-minute segments where they would come up to you for 5 minutes and ask what you do, how you do it, et cetera, et cetera. How'd you get into it? You know what I mean? Because you don't know who's out there. You don't know which of those kids, because think about it. If someone said 1985, let's do this, and you're going to have in that class an FBI director someday, or you're going to have Davidson, a nationally known attorney. I mean, South is, as is all of Brockton, filled with just incredibly talented people, sometimes just waiting for that chance, waiting for that opportunity. And these kids are ready. The South kids are ready, and they're ready to jump on every opportunity, learning experiences. I mean, last week we did a fundraiser up at Texas Roadhouse. We stacked that place. You couldn't believe the amount of kids who came up to help out. They want to get involved. They want to do positive things. You know, South is the land for that.
Wow, I'm excited. Anything you want to add to that?
I completely have seen a huge turnaround from when we started soap to now. It's a completely different school, to be honest. And we just have a few special guests today. To speak upon the book, that was kind of inspired by, we had two writers that are actually published writers already.
Really?
Yeah, named Lonnie and Niles. They were published last year in the Do the Right Thing writing competition.
Wow. Yeah, I got a chance of that one, Keith. I went to D.C. with those two kids. It was an awesome time. Plus, we have other great South writers who are older. Greg Dunn has 4 books on Amazon. I mean, we look at some of the talented people we have, but we just got to continue that tradition. I would say this, too. There's been a tremendous change. And did SOAP, what we call a South Opportunity and Achievement Plan. We're a part of it, but we have a great principal. Lisa Thomas does a great job. John Garsha and John Lynch. Lynchy was a South kid. These are people who are Brockton people who have helped in so many ways turn a school around because they inherited a tough job. They got people like myself and Amanda and some other great teachers. But to be quite honest, without those 3, it probably falls flat. They're very supportive of what we do, and we don't go anywhere without them.
You know, and I'm hearing all this positive stuff out of one middle school. We have 4 middle schools here in the Brockton area. And like I said, I only came across this story because it was you posting it. I feel like this city, we have the Brockton Enterprise, and they do. The Brockton Enterprise can only cover so much when they're covering good stories in the city. But I feel like we need more. We need more of an outlet to get the stuff you're talking about. These 2 kids writing, these are big stories. These are big positive stories because, you know, we had a shooting by City Hall last week, and that news was almost nationwide by the end of the day because of the way the bad news in Brockton just spreads. We don't spread the good news like we should be spreading the good.
Keith, we need publicity and promotions director. I asked a couple weeks ago at a debate, and hopefully that whoever wins the next mayoral race is going to follow through. We have a great person you and I both know who could do a fantastic job video promotion of the city. We won't mention his name. I don't have permission. We know who
I can't believe. Look. I was at that mayor debate when you said that, and I was like, I can't believe he went there. I can't. But you said what everybody in that room was thinking.
Everybody knew.
Last 5 years.
Yep. Just imagine if we had him film 2 1-minute segments a week to send to the Boston media. And so when they had an opening, they could run a quick story, again, on Sean Joyce or on these kids who go off. We had 2 kids last year go to Harvard and 2 MIT in the top 4 graduating Brockton High. No one knows about it. We do not promote. So what happens is we get the negative publicity from others. Remember, we were the one everyone loves to hate, because Brockton always beat everybody in sports.
That's right.
So we were the one they love to hate. So they're going to kick us when they can. So we have to promote us. So their kicking means nothing. Their kicking means nothing. We have everything. We had the pizza challenge at our school last year. You might have loved that one. The pizza challenge was won by Stella's. We brought in 8 or 9 Brockton places. Here's the book Amanda was talking about. Here's Niall Alfama. I don't know if you can see it right here.
Yep, I can see it. Yep.
Yeah, and then Neilani is probably a couple pages later. We saw her at the Cape Verdean Gala. I ran into Neilani a couple weeks ago. Great kids. They're sophomores now in high school. They're in this book that was published. But we're going to make a book on South, on Brockton.
And that book's available on Amazon. I think you just put that.
The one I have here, I don't know, but I can give you the copy of it. I can get you the copy at any point.
I want to put it in my show. I want to put it somewhere on my show. So when I do sponsorship,
yeah, we took two. Dr. Eliza Wilson runs this program, and she had two Brockton kids. Like I say, they were both from South the first year. Last year, they told us we couldn't win because we won twice the first year. So a young man from the Plouffe won last year and went to DC. But we're going to be back this year. We're going to win the contest again. We're going to DC. I'll let my, one of my co-teachers go, but my kids are going to win again. I'm going to tell you right now. We got the best writers because we're writing our book on Brockton that's going to be on Amazon. So we're going to have the experience. Listen, you're only held down to what you allow yourself to be held to. And we're not going to let anyone hold us down.
I get it. Like I said, when you mentioned that at the debate, and then when they mentioned about the budget, for promotion for the city itself, that was embarrassing. I wouldn't have even wanted to mention that, because that goes to show you why this city isn't at a certain place. When you've cut that promotion of the city,
people have no idea, Keith. And they come around, and just to drive around and see the architectural styles. Amanda loves architecture and stuff. That's her passion. And to drive around the city and see some of the neighborhoods we have, and people don't know about this. People don't know. They see Brockton on the news. They see something negative. We never promote, and we have to do a much better job. I'm confident no matter who wins in November, they will do it.
You know who sees it? You know who sees the value? Hollywood. Because we've had 4 movies and 2 TV shows here, because it's not because the city looks like a dump. It's because we have architecture that everybody else is getting rid of and tearing down and removing. That's why you have these peace period movies and things of that sort coming here to film.
Exactly. Remember this, Keith, right? To live in Easton or Bridgewater, it might take money, but to live in Brockton, it takes style. Right? You got to have the style. So remember that. We often forget that. We overlook that. We've got it all. I mean, we've got everything here, and we must do a better job. So we're going to keep promoting South. We hope you can be there on the 10th. If not, come on the 9th if you can.
No, I'm gonna come on the 10th. I'm gonna talk to my boss and see if I can work something out that day. That day, it's only from 9 to 10. I can go in late that day if I have to. So
it'd be awesome. It'd be really awesome to have you there.
You know, because my career job is in transportation. My career job, I started at the MB. I actually went to Southeastern, graduated in Southeastern in '84 from Diesel. Yeah. Went right to the MBTA 2 years out of Southeastern Regional, and I worked a career at the MBTA, and now I'm at Paul Revere Transportation, overseeing Massport's contracts and MBTA contracts and stuff like that for bus transit. We do the Logan Express, so I can answer questions about that too.
Yeah.
Oh, great stuff. Good stuff. I'm glad to have you guys on. So again, let's mention this event that's going to be at Joe Angelo's again, because that's the big one.
Amanda, do you want to mention it?
You can go ahead.
All right. Yeah, it's the Hall of Fame. It's the 5th annual Hall of Fame next Thursday, October 9th, from 6 o'clock to about 8:30 at the latest. And again, we're putting in a former police chief in Manny Gomes. We're putting in the Brockton housing director in Tom Tebow. We're putting in Keith Davidson, Velma Lee, Peter Hughes, Paul Spillane, all known nationally. We have others. We have young people, James Pace, who's an FBI agent and an attorney, UMass Dartmouth Alumni Association president, Maxine Doobie, a former great basketball player from Brockton High, nurse practitioner. We have Jim Burke, local attorney, is going in. I mean, sometimes I forget about how much talent we have. I almost think it's unfair. I mean, I start to think West, North, and East, if they combine, I don't know if they could ever match what we have. You know?
But they have people. That's the whole thing, though. But they do have people, and we don't focus on what we had, in these other schools. We had people come from.
And remember, the kids today are those futures. Those are the superstars of tomorrow. We have so many kids. I mean, I can tell you about the kids we have in the last 15 years, but particularly in the last couple of years, we've got so much talent. It's really unfair. It's really unfair. These other schools, I mean, it's really unfair.
Right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, I want to thank you guys. It's 7:28.
Thank you, Keith.
How can people get in touch with this or follow you guys, what you do? How can we on social media?
Yeah, you know what? We don't have any of those big things. Amanda, how can they find us other than I can give you my phone number?
On the South Middle School Facebook page.
Okay.
Lisa Thomas, our principal, runs that. You can email us. Jim's email, Jim's number.
Yeah, my number's on the flyers. I'll send you the flyer, Keith, at any point.
I have it. I have the flyer. The flyer is actually in.
You're more than willing to post it.
Yeah, at the end of my show, I have what is called the current event segment, and your flyer is in there. So I try to make sure I get all Brockton events in my current event section.
Yeah, so if anyone sees my number, they're more than willing to call. I'm more than willing to get to them, and we'll talk. Yep. We'll get them. We'll get them involved.
And just make sure to get me any future flyers for any events coming up, so I can
get
them on this show.
Will do.
But I want to thank everybody for coming on this show. Great stuff, good stuff. October 9th and October 10th. I'm gonna try to make it to both of those.
I'll reach out to you.
Definitely gonna see about making it to 10th. What we're gonna do here is gonna take a quick break here, and then we're gonna be back with my second guest on the booth. But let me get ready to take a quick break. We'll be back with more booth. Hold tight.
Thank you so much for having
me. You see, something ain't right. I got this feeling, y'all, deep down in my bones. My baby been acting strange and ain't never home. No, she gets these calls all night, then runs to the next room. I can't take this much more, 'cause I'm left to assume my baby got a new walk, got a whole new attitude. Could be out there creeping, gotta keep both eyes on you. A new talk, got a brand new attitude. Could be out there creeping, 'cause that's just what I would do. Can't stand the thought, sweet baby, of sharing you. I can't share you, baby. Can't be around you no more if that's what you wanna do. Woman, I can figure it out, but if you don't want me to say it, baby. Don't deserve this shit, girl. Truth shall set you free. My baby got a new walk, got a whole new attitude. Could be out there creeping, gotta keep both eyes on you. A new talk, got a brand new attitude. Could be out there creeping, 'cause that's just what I would do.
All right, it's your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. I want to thank my first guests that were just on, Jim Stapleton and Amanda Gomez and her son. I love when I gotta say this. I know some people when they come on, you try to do this show, you got your kids, and I know I don't mind, because when I see people come on and their kids kind of interrupt and their kids kind of do stuff, it makes me, as a father, it makes me kind of sad, because that's the stuff that I miss as a father. I love my boys. Yesterday, Sunday was National Boys Day. My sons, I love them to death, but my sons are in their 20s now. They're grown men, girlfriends, own careers. You know what I'm saying? And, it all started many years ago when they said, Dad, we don't want to go to Corey's cut shop for our barber anymore. We got our own barber. And I was like, damn, that's, for a father, that's a crazy moment, because, you think your kids are going to, When your kid breaks off and has their own barber that they like, you're like, oh my God, that's their own man. They become their own men. So you miss that moment when you're trying to do something and the kids come in and turn it upside down. I miss that. I miss that little moment. I think I'm looking to get some grandkids. I think that's since the one's finally saying it. I need some damn grandkids. But I got my next guest on with me. Stay on lit. Saul coming on the show, hanging out with me tonight. Second guest, gonna be adding his poem. Get some poetry response to Because I Want to Fly By. This was at the Cincinnati Art Museum that was done at? Is that where that was at?
Yes, it was done last year at the Cincinnati Art Museum for the Whitfield Passages, and the poem's called "Because I Want to, Blackbird Fly." So I wrote a piece based on one of his art pieces in the installation room, and I performed my poem in the same way as his pieces.
Nice. So we're going to be adding that because I know before the countdown we have the appetizer, and the appetizer is where we show music videos and things of that such, but adding the poems, that's going to be nice too. And there is something that I'm trying to kick off here now that the election period is over for me. One of the things that I'm trying to bring back to Brockton Soul that you might be able to give me some advice on. I'm trying to bring back something that was very successful here in Brockton. We have a bookstore that opened here, Dr. Ellie Paris, black woman, black-owned business. She came up with this concept of a bookstore with ice cream, pastries, and pizza. And it's really taking off as a black-owned business. It's a nice little cut spot. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's right in between. But I feel like her place would be a good place to revive maybe a Thursday or Friday night poetry slam. Bring people in and so maybe pick your brain because you're about this. Let's talk about this. You got some stuff coming up, but I want to hear you give me some advice first. How do I go about creating a successful poetry slam?
Well, first you gotta get in the community. Like, what's the temperature like? Is there a poetry community out there? Of course, there's a poetry community everywhere, but is it visible? Are they at different spots? What's the best spots to go to? Where's the most packed? Where are the most intimate? Where are there poetry shows happening? Is poets more like published poets? Are they spoken word poets? And figure out the temperature there and start asking the question. If it's not really existing there, then start investigating, talk to people. It's like, do you like poetry? What would you like to see if there was poetry in your city? And then you can kind of, based on what the people want, you can craft it around your main vision and then bring it forth and start finding people who are like-minded or poets who want to find spots to create those spaces to collaborate with, because they would have the most knowledge. They're on the ground level of what's going on in the city. And then what you're talking about reminds me of Sensei that started in here. It's a manga shop that started off with ideas like there are manga lovers here in Cincinnati. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean we aren't there. So they created the idea, and just the buzz around that started building up. So just go out there and hit the ground and just see who's out there, who wants this, who doesn't want this, who've experiences, figure out the difference between a poetry slam and a poetry open mic, a spoken word showcase, and all the verbiage and the different things, and what's going on in what's the topics talked about between poets, what's missing that you're seeing from your experience, and then just what other people are like, yeah, I like this, but we don't have this. It's like, I like this spot, but they just don't feel this niche. And then just craft it around there where you can have themed poetry nights where it can be, we cater to this crowd, we cater to this crowd, but it still comes to the umbrella of this is a safe space for you to express yourself and do slams or open mic or whatever you just want you to do. And when you get into slams, the biggest thing is try to find people that's fair, because that's the biggest critique I hear is like, if them judges get clicked up, it's going to end soon because nobody's trying to do all that. You got poets that put their life on the line to put gas in the car just to spit some bars, and they giving the 10 to this guy just because he's the local town hero, but you know this guy, this other person, this guy or gal has the most skill. So that's the biggest thing I would say.
It's funny you say that. Hey, Gary Keith, I see you watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's funny you say that because the poetry slam that used to be pretty successful here was at Massasoit Community College. It was really good. They had the 3 judges. The issue that we had, that I saw as being somebody who went and watched when it first started out, we had some deep poetry. We had a 12-year-old boy who showed up who was autistic, and he told a poem from his eyesight, and I'll tell you, it brought a tear to my eye because it lets you know exactly what he was feeling and thinking, being autistic and looking at himself from outside his body. Deep. We had a young girl who was we had a woman, an older woman, who came out and talked about her sexual abuse and how it caused her to be overly sexually overted, or what I think is what I'm trying to say is very, very crazy. The problem that we did have is we had a lot of rapper wannabe, and they would come up and they're not doing poetry, they're coming up and spitting rap bars, and it was like you had a couple of these dudes that was kind of getting away from what poetry slam was supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So how would you get, how do you get those rules in there and get rid of that? We're not here for a music show. We're here for poetry slam.
Set your rules and stand on it. Like, there's gonna be some people that's gonna try to sneak into the cracks, but if you let it be firm, that no, this ain't what we do. You ain't gotta be like, nah, get off the stage unless you want to do that. I find it with running my open mic is just like, I'm gonna let you know what the rules are, and I'm gonna do it as polite as possible. If you infringe on that, I'm gonna talk to you in person. Third time, it's like, listen, bro, you ain't getting on stage. We ain't having you on the mic. You're not banned from the mic because you ain't doing nothing disrespectful, but you are disrespecting other people's time. So it's about just like at my open mic, we make sure that we try our best to, depending on how the flow is, because artists, we tend to flow. It's not always structured, but having a structure, and this is the guidelines, and we're not going to, if it deteriorates too far away from the guidelines, we don't do it. But on those strong rules, is like we get packed in our open mic. Shouts out to Verses and Vibes every second Wednesday at the Muse Cafe, 6:30 to 9 p.m. We always try to emphasize do one piece. Now, sometimes when people come in, there's barely any of us in, and some of them got short poems. Do 2 poems. We feeling what you were saying. We'll do 2 poems. The crowd is really resonating with do 2 poems. But once it starts getting that second half, and we go until it's 9 o'clock, they want to go home. The people that is serving the food, that wants to clean up and stuff, they want to go home. So when it's obvious, because we have people like, it's obvious the room is filled up. You've seen the list. It's going to the next page. I'm trying to get everybody on this list. I don't want nobody missing one piece. And if you try to go that, I will get on the mic and be like, hey, man, I appreciate you wanting to go on, but save it for next time, or spit it to somebody else afterwards because we got this long list. And just stand on business, and they'll respect you for that. And to make sure that everybody is being heard and everybody has the room to express themselves. And if they can't get with that, find somewhere else, because it's not a spot. This is a poetry slam, man. Like, this ain't poetry raps. This ain't Kitchen Lamar. I know you got something to say, but you ain't even feeling the criteria unless you're making it make sense. So just stand on business, man.
Love it. Someone actually, Clancy, thank you for dropping. Clancy says, here in Brockton, the poet Lorette's at the Brockton Public Library. He sent me a link for that, so I'll definitely have to check this out. Sister Fabu. Okay, cool. I'm gonna look into this. But we're on here to talk about your event and all this stuff. You got a lot of stuff going on, man. Talk about this, man. You got a busy October into November.
Well, I wouldn't say that. This is from September going all the way into the beginning of October when I get a little bit of rest period. Not necessarily I won't be doing anything. I'll be more so in the studio and getting ready for my releases. But so I'll start from not last Friday, but the Friday beforehand. I did a Free Palestine performance in collaboration with Lucky Lee, Jay here, Roberto, Sabrina Ali, DJ Herbo. I think I messed up his name a little bit. My apologies. Danielle. So many dope organizers, vendors, artists. Shouts out to Sheldon Livingston. And we all came together in the community to do an event at Queen City Radio and raise up funds for 3 Gaza families and the Palestine Relief Fund organization. And we did performances, we sold merch, we did special drink offers just to bring people together to raise up money for these families. We raised up over $5,600 for the fundraiser as a whole. And I did poetry and I did rap and I streamlined it in a performance. I have it, one of my people's, shouts out to Sheldon Livingston, dope massage therapist and dope poet. Shouts out to him. He filmed the entire thing. And in November, it's after I release all my songs, I'll be releasing the videos for all that I have in back catalog. But yeah, that was one of my best performances, and it was for a good cause. And a lot of stuff has been happening personally that fueled that performance, and it's just gonna go to the next thing. But moving on forward to that, I have a feature tomorrow at the Art of Spoken Word at Somerset, doing a 15-minute set along with my homie Web Slinger, my auntie Nancy Mays, hosted by Big Kev. This is brought together by 820 Media, started by Just Dave. Shouts out to Just Dave. And it's gonna be, I feel like it's just gonna snowball even more features going to that. I actually have 2 more possibles lined up. I won't in time, we'll see if they come to fruition. And I will be on my local 12 radio TV station. I'll be on live TV at 9:20 a.m. this Thursday talking about the Too Fresh Film Festival, where my spoken word show film will be premiering at. So I'll be there discussing more details on that. So if you're in Cincinnati area or you get that station, tune in so that you can hear all about the different poets and comedians and artists and directors and actors that's going to be at this film festival showcasing their work. And my particular film is based off a love poem I wrote called Intimacy that was really just a moment in time type of thing. And how that started out was at Verses and Vibes when I had, it's rooted in poetry, but we invite comedians, rappers, singers, and different creatives. We have vendors that do crafts, art, jewelry, massage, and all that stuff. And this particular actor named Brianna Gibson came in. I'm not sure even how she found out about it, but she came in and was like, I wanted to check this out. It was like, you want to speak on a mic? Well, I'm an actor. Will you have a piece? And it was like, no, if you're a business owner, if you're a creative of any kind, you never know who's in the room. Come and speak, do 2 minutes about what you do. She came up and spoke about it, and she loved the vibe and the atmosphere we created at Versus and Vibes, and she loved my piece. And she hit me up on Instagram and was like, you want to be a part of this film project we got going on? We're including poets. And I was like, okay, cool. And I submitted this piece, and they said they liked it. And director Lavelle Revels, he's the one who shoots all the footage for all the films. He sent me the script in based on my poem, and I was like, wow, like, are you sure you're not a poet yourself? And we just collaborated from there, filmed the shoot with some of my close artist friends at Versus and Vibes Music Cafe. We did it all in one day. I helped orchestrate some of the music. He provided the music, and we orchestrated the match with the film, did the audio for my poetry parts, and I seen the final take of it earlier this week. It's awesome, man. And this will be technically my first acting debut. And so that'll be premiering this Sunday. Yeah, I played some minor roles. And funny enough, I was supposed to be in my first film as a side character, the comedic relief for Get Off of Me, a play I did during the pandemic, and then also did again at live as a table reading. And I was supposed to reprise the role for the shoot, but scheduling conflicts kept on coming up, so I had to drop the role. But it made room for me to do this role. So it'll be premiering October 5th at 1 p.m. at the Views Center on Coleraine Avenue. And you can buy tickets from my personal link, and all those funds come directly to me. So if you buy a ticket and you show up, you're supporting me, the artist, directly. So that's just this week. It's just been so busy, and it's just been a build up for that. And then next week is the back on it with Versus and Vibes.
Nice. So you really keeping it going since the last time we had you on. It's good stuff. Oh, and you're part of our men's group. I got to mention that, on Thursday night, the Black men's group that we're in on Thursday. Big ups to Kevin Jeffries, who's been holding it down. But we get together every Thursday. And it was nice to actually be out in Ohio about a week ago. I was actually able to meet, a few of the guys of the group. We went to breakfast. They took me to this, took me to
I'm mad I
Blueberry
missed
Muffin
that, man.
spot. Man, they took me to this Blueberry Muffin spot where, most places here in New England, you got to sit and wait. Just sit and wait, right? We out here I'm sitting there waiting for this seat to open up for us. This dude comes out with the this big plate of hot, big ass. He had the nerve to come out and say, anybody want to smell these fresh out the oven pumpkin cheesecake muffins? And I mean, talking about fresh out the oven smell, the cartoon smell goes up your nose. He comes by and he puts the whole plate of muffins under your nose and goes by mad quick. And I'm like, man, that is the best. Because at least 8 or 9 of us, when we get inside to that restaurant, the first thing we getting is a muffin. Because you didn't already put the smell under our nose. I'm like, that's great marketing. That is great marketing,
I was about to say
bro.
that's excellent marketing. Yeah.
Oh man, I said, man, and he talked. They got the right guy too. They got the brother. Brother got the smooth voice, older dude. He's talking about, you want some of this muffin, and I'm like, bro, no, I don't. But the smell. I'm like, oh man. And then if you guys go on my Facebook page, if you saw there's no need of the pancakes, bruh. The pancakes that they serve there's no need. Look, when you get a plate, the plate is supposed to fit your pancake, not the pancake's supposed to fit your plate, bruh. The pancake was covering the whole plate like...
No, that's how it's supposed to be. You get a big ass plate, you have a big ass pancake. That's what you're supposed to do.
Damn, I'm like, this is crazy. This is insane. It's on my list when I go back to Ohio.
Good.
On my list,
hopefully
bro.
when you come back, I'll be able to make that one because I had I don't know if I was preparing for a performance or whatever, but it was an artistic reason why I couldn't make it. So
yeah, I remember you saying it. It was good. I got to meet the other Keith in the group. It was Kevin. I met a lot of the brothers in the group, and it was a good time. So it was nice to meet who I met. It was a good time. Good time had by all, but like I said, some places you go to eat and you just don't forget because it was just good service. I'll be back there.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, he's from Boston because they hear my voice, so everybody in the spot's like, oh, he sounds weird. And, yeah, it is what it is. I'm coming back. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, how can people follow you? How can people check you out?
They can follow me. They can Google me. I'm Googleable now. So, aka Mr. Stay on Lit. SOL, aka MISTA, space STAYONLIT. If you look at me on any social media, you can just type in MRSTAYONLIT, and you'll find me on your social platforms where all my information is on there. And got more stuff coming, new music coming, new poems coming, more videos coming. And I forgot to mention this. And the reason why I wanted to have this poem on there is because the last time we talked, I came in as a rapper. We started talking in the poetry. And I was re-listening to it. I was like, nah, let me give the people some poetry. They got me on raps. This is cool. I just dropped the song, but now they need to hear this poetry. So shouts out to Professor X, the poet that I was talking to, who told me keep on doing what I'm doing. You should check him out. I'm gonna send you a link so you can check him out.
Yeah. I'd like to get him on the show because for those who, I don't know if we mentioned this when you was last on the show, for you guys who are tuning in the chat, Clancy, what's up? Alan, what's up? Thank you for tuning in. My dad got me involved with poetry very young age. My dad we grew up in Boston. We used to go down to Eggleston Station and stuff and Mattapan Square where these guys would be out there doing poetry. And my dad was this guy. We went to Skippy White's Records, and my dad would be grabbing all these Last Poet albums. And for those who don't know who the Last Poets are, you got to look it up, because the Last Poets was kind of the base of how rap and hip hop started, to be honest. That what you hear from the Last Poets is what, the Last Poets was like the Wu-Tang of poetry, to be honest.
Yeah.
The members of that group, the poetry was on point. I'd like to say that their albums were top sellers in that poetry class, that genre. Till this day, I remember that Last Poets album with the purple cover, and they're out on the street corner. When the revolution comes.
And don't get me started on Gil Scott-Heron. That's the Tupac of it.
Oh, that's... My dad had every last one of them. Ooh. Ooh. They tried to shut him down.
Yeah, but he said, look over your shoulder, motherfucker. I am coming. And he did.
Yep. That's another one. If my dad was watching this, he would, both of them was ever in the albums. And we don't have that now. We've got all this streaming stuff. We don't have that thing where you could get the album and the artistic value was passed on to the album cover. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it wasn't just about what we see for the streaming cover on the streaming album now. It's just basic. Back then, it had a value. Gil had these album covers that was deep. It wasn't just a cover. You picked that album up and the cover was like, okay, he got his hands open with a, you know what I'm saying? What's he trying to say? There was something being said.
It's funny that you said that. I was just talking to a couple of my homies. It's like, I miss when I can read what from another journalist what this album was about. And I feel like it's coming back, especially with cassettes and vinyls and CDs making a comeback. People want something physical. And I actually saw this at random. The generation after us, they're collecting iPods now. Like, there's I'm not paying for streaming. I'm not doing all that. I'm getting the MP3. I'm doing playlists again. So the Walkmans. Yeah. They're coming back in school too. Like, if I have my MP3 player, I bring it right now. But I use that more for practicing my own stuff. But yeah, it's back. It's just like just because it ain't mainstream, it's coming back. Like, that's why I'm like, I love how I'm putting my website up. It's like I'm writing about my songs. Like people will tell me, don't talk about your poems or your songs because that's for the rest of the world. It's like, you can have your interpretation, but this is what I like talking about. What inspired this? What created this? What was I seeing at these point in times? What was it going on in my life when this performance happened? Like, my Survivors poem, there's a whole story behind that one performance that will never happen again. And I like talking about that stuff. We need more stories behind the music. And we know it's not just, it may sound not as in-depth now, but when you hear somebody just talk about that piece that is like, I don't know why I like this. And then they talk about it, it's like, oh, this had meaning. It's coming back. Don't worry. There's a place for us. It's coming back.
Man, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we're going to thank my man Stay On Lit Soul for coming on here. Going to take a quick break and let him get out of here. Get ready to wind down the show and get ready for 9:30 for Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor. But again, tell him that social media, man.
Mr. Stay On Lit, a.k.a. Soul. You can type in MrStayonLit on all your social media platforms or on SoundCloud, Audio Mac, Bandcamp. You look me up on there. Got some music on all those platforms, except for Audio Mac. I'm waiting on Audio Mac, but all that my stuff will be on there soon. But I'm on SoundCloud, YouTube, and Bandcamp. Definitely check out my music and videos. Shouts out to Sinister One Productions for having me on there. It's always a great time talking to you. Appreciate you having me back on here. And it's up, man. 2025, we killing it. 2026, we taking over.
And you sounded like you was happy to hear that David Shabazz is going to be on Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor tonight.
That's my man. Hey, shouts out to King David the One, aka David Shabazz. He just dropped his new album called The Glow. That album is hard. If you're not listening to that, you don't listen to hip hop. Check out my homie's album, The Glow, on all streaming platforms, and I'm gonna get him to put it out on Bandcamp so he can sell that because that album is worth buying.
Uh-oh. Ooh. All right. Well, man, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'll be back to close out the show. Don't hang up, everybody. We're gonna be back here in a second. Here we go.
You see, something ain't right. I got this feeling, y'all, deep down in my bones. My baby been acting strange and ain't never home. No, she gets these calls all night, then runs to the next room. I can't take this much more, cause I'm left to assume my baby got a new walk, got a whole new attitude. Could be out there creeping, gotta keep both eyes on you. A new talk, got a brand new attitude. Could be out there creeping.
All right. I think, man, gotta thank all my guests for tonight. Jim Stapleton, Amanda Gomez, stay on lit. Saul, just taking off, but let's get into this show because at 9:30 we've got Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor tonight with David Shabazz and Ahmad Johnson. WWE wrestler Tony Norris. Ahmad Johnson, the first black Intercontinental Champion, he returns to the show tonight at 9:30. But let's get back into the news booth. Brockton Public Safety Building. The ribbon cutting ceremony will be 11 a.m. on October 9th. Make sure to head down there for that. Also, the Brockton Public Library adds blood pressure station and take-home kits. So if you want to go get your blood pressure checked, head on down to the Brockton Public Library and utilize that now, something that they offer there. And I'm going to try to make it through this show because my throat is killing me. I don't want to be coughing on everybody through this show. Boston celebrates the opening of the $111.4 million Carter School. Is a new state-of-the-art school that has opened up for students with severe disabilities. This is going to be a great school. Nice to see it open. Shows what you can do when you can get the funds for something. Once this study comes out for Brockton High, let's go. All right, and then here you go. Look, I had to drop this picture here in the news booth because this is news to me. Halloween is coming up, and you all have heard me on this show. I talk about my Oreo cookies. I talk about my Reese's, but somewhere, someplace in the clouds above, the food gods have blessed me this Halloween with Reese's Oreo cups. These are Reese's peanut butter cups with Oreo cream and bits and chunks of Oreo cookie. That 2 for $5 right there, those are the king size bars. That's the 4 in the pack. Not 2 Reese's in the pack, 4 in the pack. So 2 of those for $5. Look, I ain't gonna say nothing. Ass. Also in the news booth, DoorDash is embracing autonomy. And I keep telling you, automation is coming. DoorDash right there. They've got the robots for apartment complexes and robots for college campuses for DoorDash. I'm telling people, automation, they were only testing humans for DoorDash, testing humans for Lyft, testing humans for... Once they get the automation down, you're not going to have this as a gig. Uber, Lyft, all that stuff is going to drop way off. There's going to be a lot of places they're not going to need human drivers for. DoorDash has also acquired FAA licenses for drone delivery for testing in certain states. But these right here, these are the robots that are going to hit college campuses as early as next year. So like Bridgewater State. If you go to Bridgewater State already has robots on campus. Now you got DoorDash robots on campus. In the entertainment booth. Let me get the entertainment booth. Jimmy Kimmel started his second week after post-suspension. He returned in Brooklyn this week. And guess who was there for Monday night? Public Enemy performing Fight the Power. Says it all. You don't need to say anything else. Jimmy Kimmel, Fight the Power, kicking off in Brooklyn. Great show. Glad to see him back. First Amendment, freedom of speech win. That's all I gotta say. Also in the entertainment booth, Braun Strowman confirms that he is in talks to play Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th revival. I'm ready for this. Look, Kane Hodder was a stuntman. When they did Friday the 13th, Part 7. Hey, Mary, how's it going? Mary Ann Kennedy in the chat. When they did Friday the 13th, Part 7, a lot of people don't realize how Friday the 13th, Part 7 changed horror movies historically. Friday the 13th, Part 7 put Kane Hodder behind the mask as Jason. What they learned was by putting Kane Hodder, at that time, who was a stuntman, behind the mask, was that it allowed them to do more to Jason than they've ever were able to do because he was a stuntman on camera. If you look at Friday the 13th 1 to 6, and then you go and look at those Jasons before that, and then put those Jasons up against the performance of Kane Hodder's first performance in 7, you will see the difference in what he did for that movie by being a stuntman. Now you bring in, not only you could say physical stunt, to do almost the same stuff Braun Strowman, but Braun Strowman is going to bring the physicality and improv. Wrestlers are great actors. I tell people this all the time. People talk a lot of crap about wrestlers, and I'm like, wrestlers are great actors. When they go out there and perform, wrestling is improv. Some of your best actors come from improv. They're saying right now, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, they're already saying, and I already predicted this when I saw the trailer, Dwayne Johnson cannot go back to The Rock. Dwayne Johnson is about to become Dwayne Johnson from here on out when it comes to movies. They're talking Academy Award nods for this film. This is coming. And it doesn't surprise me because The Rock was one of the best improv wrestlers on the mic out there for years. So it doesn't surprise me that he can act. It doesn't surprise me at all that he can act. But his size and his looks, he was stereotyped into this action star because that's what made a ton of money. But he can act, and he's seeing it. So Braun Strowman is Jason. He's intimidating. He's huge. He's big. But he will allow them to do some things that they were never able to do. So I can't wait. I'm all for this. I am all. Also in the entertainment booth, I don't know if you guys remember this movie many years ago, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Rebecca De Mornay. That movie, sometimes you take movies and you say, leave them alone. Hand That Rocks the Cradle is one of those movies that I say, leave it alone. You just can't top certain performances. Rebecca De Mornay in Hand That Rocks the Cradle was crazy. But Hulu has decided we're going to take a chance. We're going to remake The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I don't know. I don't know if this girl is going to be able to pull it off. Rebecca just killed that role. But here it is. Here's the trailer. Let me know what you think in the chat if this girl is going to outact Rebecca De Mornay in the Hulu's version of Hand That Rocks the Cradle premiering October 22nd. Here we go.
Hi, we're considering hiring Pauline Murphy as a nanny, and I was curious about your experience with her.
She's amazing. Really became a part of our family.
What do you know about her, besides what she's told you?
You're wearing my dress.
Yeah.
You don't see what's been happening. They go into her room. They're in there for hours.
You're struggling again.
Is there something wrong with my mom? She's sad. Doesn't like herself. Your mom's pretending to be someone else. Who is she? I know you're their friend, but this feels like my house now.
Emergency. Emergency.
You're my favorite. I'm going with her! What I want is for you to rot in hell. You think if you try hard enough, you can stop bad things from happening. But you can't.
Now, you know what would have been cool? It would have been cool if they had redid this and put Rebecca as the wife in this reboot and have her act as the wife this time. That would be kind of a crazy homage to the original film, and have Rebecca be the wife in this version. That would have been, I think that would have been crazy. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that she you think she's gonna pull it off? You think she's gonna pull off that role and knock Rebecca? I don't think so. I think that Rebecca performance was just crazy. I don't know. We'll see. Let's get into the sports booth. In the sports booth, this past weekend, the Patriots tamed the Panthers 42-13, kick butt, 2-2. They take on Buffalo this weekend. If they play protection, they protect the ball, no mistakes, no penalties, they could steal a game in Buffalo this week. They could. If that D plays up to the way it was, and like I said, on this show for the last couple of seasons, I've talked about how I couldn't stand Cam Acord, the special teams coach, and he's gone. And here we are. This team, special teams, is a big deal. You can win you can steal a lot of games when your special teams is on point. And 42-13 against a team that everybody was talking about was on the move. They shut them right down. Also in the sports booth, Al Horford agrees to a multi-year deal with the Golden State Warriors. Don't hate. You can't hate. When a guy gets towards the end of their career, we've seen it. We've seen it here with the Patriots. When guys get into their careers and they've got championship rings, there are teams who will pay more than what they're worth. And Al Horford is getting the money that he was not going to get here with the Celtics or anywhere. So you look at these teams that are going to say, hey, we're going to pay you to kind of close out your career here. You got to go. And, you can't be mad at Al Horford. He was a secondary player here. He's a solid backup under the boards. We're going to miss him, but he wasn't going to get that money. He's probably going to get more time with Golden State. But, hey, good luck to him. Like I said, sometimes people got to go. Vince Wilfork, when he left here, you know, a lot of these guys, they leave, and they're past their prime. They're past their time. Let them go get those big contracts at the end of their years. Let them go. Let them go. Get that money. Get the money. So I'm not hating. Al Horford, good luck to you, man. And good luck to the Golden State Warriors. Also, if you guys saw last night, I'm not going to show it. But Monday Night Football again. Another horrific leg injury on Monday Night Football last night. Dolphins and Jets. Wide receiver Tyreek Hill. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat saw it, but Tyreek Hill got injured. Was carted off. Had emergency surgery today. This is Tyreek Hill delivering his statement to everybody before he went in for surgery. Here we go.
All right, guys. Tyreek Hill here, the cheetah. About to go in for this surgery. Keep your boy in your prayers. You guys have been awesome, man. Fans Nation, just the whole entire NFL have been amazing. You know, sending me lots of love, lots of prayers, and I'm absolutely honored, man. You know, granted the situation, but I love you guys so much, and hope to see you soon, Cheetah.
As a player, you can look all positive as you want, but you can see it when you look in Tyreek Hill's eyes. It's a nice little video, but that unknown, you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in Tyreek Hill's eyes. That unknown. You don't know if this is your career right here. You don't know if you're going to be able to bounce back. This is, you know, and you see it in his eyes. So prayers, thoughts are going out to Tyreek Hill, wide receiver. Tough stuff. Let's get into the legal Sorry, I got to get through this show. Boston judge finds Trump unconstitutionally targeted pro-Palestinian students. Remember when he sent ICE after the Palestinian student and had her snatched up and she was sent down to Louisiana? Yeah, that was illegal. It was a violation. That was a unconstitutional. The judge said he unconstitutionally targeted. Violation. Went after somebody because against their freedom of speech. Wrote a paper in college. And they targeted her and sent ICE here. Snatched her up. Unconstitutional. These lawsuits, y'all, are going to come back. They're coming. Lawsuits are coming. It's been so bad that the ABA released a statement. And it's funny that this presidency is the only administration who has had the ABA release statements on the things that are happening and the things that are going on. And they're not happy with the law being weaponized. They're not happy about lawyers being threatened, law offices being threatened, jobs and organizations being threatened. And, you know, when you talk about the threats, we can get right into Trump troubles. Let's get into Trump troubles and talk about threats. But before we talk about the threats, I just want to remind people coming up November 2nd is Vote 48 at 4 p.m. at Gigi's Function Room. This will be an event hosted by myself. This is where we talk to the undecided voters. The candidates will talk to undecided voters just 48 hours before the Tuesday election. We've got 16 confirmed candidates on that night, so I'm pretty ecstatic for it. But yes, today was the day. Today was the day that Trump and Hegseth had all of the generals come to one place. Thank God it was protected, thank God. But they had this unusual get-together. Weird stuff went on. Trump went on to talk to these generals and says to them, that he's calling for U.S. cities to be used as training grounds. Unconstitutional. Can't be using U.S. cities as training grounds. They're going to try and spin this fascist stuff whatever way they can, and it's scary. There was a moment there, if you go back and watch, where the generals started laughing. A majority of the generals started laughing at some of the stuff that Trump was saying, and he was being serious. They were laughing, and he got upset, and he's like, if you don't like this, you can leave now. If I'm not happy with you, you'll be fired. And I'm pretty sure these generals and higher ups are really going to talk to each other behind the scene. Hegseth, he gets up there, he goes on and on about, going after the woke leadership in military, and everybody's going to be clean shaven. There's not going to be any more beardos in the military. He then goes on to say that drill sergeants and stuff will be able to put their hands on cadets and things of that sort. Just this wild tirade. And I'm sitting there saying, this is a guy who was in the military and couldn't even get proper clearances because he was such a dumbass. He was such a dumbass that he couldn't even get a higher up job in the military, that he ended up on Fox and Friends. Yet you're up here now, you're preaching about values and the warrior code and all this stuff when you weren't shit in the military. And now everybody, and I'm seeing these people now, they're taking it hook, line, and sinker. And it's crazy. Our military is still one of the strongest militaries out there. So to play this game like we've become soft, I don't think so. Part of the reason why our numbers were up was because of people that were transitioning, or people, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, our military was still strong. We were still kicking ass. So, I don't know. It's going to be heavily debated, and it's going to be a lot of stuff said. Hakeem Jeffries today, he spoke out after Trump had words for him. Hakeem Jeffries finally got tired of it. Hakeem Jeffries finally had something to say. This is what he said.
The next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Forceful response there from Jeffries, what many in his caucus wanted to see from him. You asked about vote cadence, Anna. We do expect that we're going to see the Senate vote at some point later today on the House passed CR. That's expected to fail because they don't have the Democratic votes that they need, which leaves us in this stalemate.
So it looks like we're headed for a shutdown because they don't have the Democratic votes. They're going to spin that they don't have enough votes because of the Democrats. That's not true. They don't have enough votes because they also have GOP members who are also siding with the Democrats. That's the deciding. We've talked about this on the show. Democrats don't have the majority of the House or Senate. They don't. So to say that they're holding up the shutdown, it's not. It's those 5 to 7 swing margin votes that are there with the GOP that's not MAGA supportive, that's really going to put this country into a shutdown. It's not really the Democrats. It's going to be those MAGA swing votes of those GOPs who cross those bipartisan lines and side with the Democrats. So they're going to spin it. They're going to spin it and say it's the Democrats that put us into lockdown when realistically it's not. Marjorie Taylor Greene, actually, she could be one of these swing votes. Why? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you notice, hasn't been on TV as much. Marjorie Taylor Greene hasn't been in the news or out there on but she finally released something on social media and said, "I am not suicidal and one of the happiest, healthiest people you will ever meet. I have full faith in God and Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. As a sinner, I am only saved through his grace and mercy. With that said, if something happens to me, I ask all of you to find out which foreign government or powerful people would take heinous actions to stop the information from coming out. not only about this issue, but because the truth that I have been speaking, the people understand what I'm saying. Now, if you're trying to understand the truth that she is speaking, that she's talking about, if you guys have not noticed, a while back, the women who were victims of Jeffrey Epstein, they were at the White House. And Trump had said that, this was a hoax. He said this was all part of the Epstein hoax. And Marjorie Taylor Greene didn't like that. Marjorie Taylor Greene sided with these women. She was at these press conferences. And since that time, Marjorie Taylor Greene has kind of fallen out with President Trump. Now, I talked about this on this show, and I had said that she was going to be the one to watch because he got in the second time, and the second time he got in, she was expecting to finally get a cabinet seat. And again, she was told, no, I can't give you a cabinet seat. I need you to stay on the floor. I need that vote. I need that vote. I can't have you become part of my cabinet. She was upset about that. She felt, okay, I did it your first term. I'm good with that. But now here's your second term, and you don't get another term. So for me, my career, I need to move up now. I need to become into the cabinet now. And I get it. As much as I don't agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I do understand the business aspect of it and why, she's MAGA, but eventually you want what you gave. She touted Trump. She put him on a pedestal. So, in my opinion, she deserves to be rewarded, and she wasn't. And again, she's a woman. Trump put everybody else above her, before her. And she saw that, and she spoke out on a podcast about the fact that she was passed over again, but other people were given spots ahead of her. And again, she was told, "We need you in your seat. That's your." It wasn't. You could have tried to get somebody else in that. Oh, problem is you were so worried that you already knew the margin was low, and you had to keep her there. But that's how it is. And then last in the Trump troubles, U.S. Navy has killed 17 in deadly strikes. Now Venezuela is giving civilian guns. As you guys know, Trump has been bragging about the fact that he's blown up these drug boats out of Venezuela. And I've seen these MAGA nitwits on my page talking about, well, that's what they get for bringing fentanyl into this country.
Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. You know who brings fentanyl in this country? The two biggest countries, Russia and China, bring fentanyl in this country. Not Venezuela. Nitwits. Want to blow up drug boats coming into this Mexico, Russia, China. Blow up boats coming from them and bringing them into this country. There was R-Squared was on this show and he told you why Venezuela is on the Trump map. He told you why. And guess what? What you're doing right now in Venezuela is what happened to us many years ago when we stiffed over bin Laden. And bin Laden come back to haunt us. So when we have terrorist groups from Venezuela, or when people are going over to Venezuela to visit and they're kidnapping American tourists, you're going to wonder why? This is why. This is exactly what happens. Exactly what happens. Man. Well, we're at the end of the show. I got to get out of here. I got to get my voice ready for 9:30. These guys are going to have to carry me on their back this weekend. Well, this show coming up at 9:30. Trouble goes because I've been sick since Friday with this bug that's going around. I want to thank everybody for the support for the show. Great stuff. Good stuff. Shows I produce: Drafting the Circuits, Oscar Mike Radio, Matty C Sports, Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor at 9:30, Food Bar Studios, Homeland Hero Salute, Talk Back with Gloria Shea, and coming soon, When the Dust Settles. Also, BAT After Our Workforce Transportation. Scan the QR code, download the Uber app. When the BAT buses have stopped running, you can scan that code, get an Uber at a discounted rate. Emerge Career. If you're formerly incarcerated and you want to get a CDL license, scan that code right there. You can make up to $75,000. Also, the Journey Church has a food pantry going on Thursdays, 3 to 6, Sundays, 10:30 at the Journey Church in Bardstown, Kentucky. Don't forget Bat Bus. You can ride till June, free. Take advantage of it. I take advantage of it as much as I can. One Station. First Friday's Brockton Bikes. This Friday, October 3rd, we'll be leaving from the Dr. Ellie Paris Social Bookstore and Ice Cream Cafe. Also, tomorrow is the last day to register. No, October 3rd is the last day to register for the Clemente course. It's going to be 2 nights. Also, October 4th at the Mass Bay Credit Union, Shred Day from 9 to 12, so bring your documents. And then the guys from The Dust Settles will be at the Bulls and Barrels Final, October 4th in Rochester. Gates open at 3 p.m. Then Ann asked me to mention these events. Cultural Affairs and Tourism for Brockton takes place Thursday, October 9th at 6 p.m. You can meet at the Brockton Community Access. Also, Jim Stapleton, who was on the show with Amanda Gomez, Hall of Fame Awards. Here's what they were talking about Thursday, October 9th. Joe Mulligan, Joe Angelos, Reach Across America, Comedy Night with Michael Pettit. Sunny Paws Rescue, stand-up comedy night at the Randolph Elks Club. I'm dying here. I know you guys can hear me. On October 18th, which is my birthday, that's going to be the No Kings event across the country. October 18th. Then the Merrill Debate, Tuesday, October 21st, 7 to 8:30 at the venue 727, JBD, taking on Moses. And then the Brockton School Committee candidates will have their debate on October 23rd, 6 p.m., Brockton Cable Access. Rocky Marciano Tournament of Champions, their next event will be October 11th. Championship night will be the 25th. For more information, call Rich or Mike at those numbers below. And Trunk or Treat takes place Saturday, October 25th at Tommy Doyle's Late Church. Face painting, candy, raffles, and games. And then the Brockton's Farmer Market is winding down. Friday, October 31st is the last day, 10 to 2, every Friday. And here are the banners for those who are running for office here in Brockton. These are given to me. These don't show. I'm not showing any support. Banners are given to me, and I put them up and post them. Jose Rodriguez for mayor. Jeff Charnel running for council at large. Michael Nunez running for councilor at large. Gary Keith was in the chat earlier. He's running for city council, Ward 3. Ellie Texera is running for Ward 5, city council. Steve Pina is running for Ward 1, school committee. Tony Rodriguez, Ward 4, school committee. He's running, the incumbent. Sandra Santel, Ward 5. And then don't forget Ladies' Night, October 10th at Massasoit Community College, 6 to 8. Skills, drills, and scrimmage, all skill levels. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the show, hanging out with me. Good stuff. Got to get ready for Turnbuckles and Spilt Liquor podcast. I got to get out of here and get my voice and get ready. Because once that show's over, my doctor gave me some like Robitussin with codeine. Because the last 3 days, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because it's cold. When it hits you, it gives you postnasal drip. And go to sleep, it drips down, and you almost choke to death. So, as soon as I'm done with turnbuckles and spilt liquor tonight, I'm taking my Robitussin with codeine. I'm probably going to be knocked out. Knocked out. But we'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully I'll be feeling much better and I won't be all congested and stuffy and looking ragamuffin. Like I said, when you get sick, you just don't feel like doing anything. Anything. That's how I feel right now. Oh, hey, SpongeBob, can you do me a favor? Take us home and get us ready for Turnbuckles Spilt Liquor Podcast.
Well, see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I make it, this don't repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, and y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip. I don't need that shit, it's like I'm my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZO. That's Hoobazoo.com.
Enter website, enter website, enter website, enter website.